All right. Welcome back, you guys. So today we're doing another battle study video. We have, I think we have 4 games today. 3 are from the same guy. And yeah, let's get right into it. I hope you guys enjoy. All right, getting into the first duel, we have a submission from Mako MVP. He actually sent in 3 fights here, so we're going to see 3 from him and then 1 from somebody else. But he said, here I have some duels I played before going into work. I may not have the best reaction time or reads. After all, this time I'm still working on getting better at the game. One of the problems I have is dealing with people who either dodge attack, empty dodge, or call my bluff and interrupt me, but that's just how the game is. So let's see how it goes. First game on is BP versus Shaolin. Oh, he's fighting a break and run. Interesting. Break and runs a YouTuber. You guys should go check him out. He's pretty solid player. Does a lot of streaming. Okay, he could have flipped that right off the rip. So, sorry to pause already. But right here, like, so he went into this, you know, the bulwark stance for a reason, I would suppose. And I suppose it's because he wanted to flip. So, like, in this situation, you can kind of make the read that your opponent's going to feint and GB you, but if I was sitting in this stance right off the rip, I would just see movement. You don't even have to have a good reaction time. As soon as you see movement, just go for the flip, and he could have flipped that. Okay, he just made the bad read there. Nothing wrong with that. Good parry there. So this is before the changes, it looks like, because that was not a light parry. Okay. Okay. It's twice now he's been punished for going into his bulwark. That was good to bash him again. So anytime my opponent is completely out of stamina like that, I always try to throw the unblockable as much as I can. So like unblockable here, and then I just feint it. I just try to get them to go for a parry a lot of the time, because dodging that is kind of hard. He did dodge it, but a lot of opponents won't, so I would have just like feinted it twice. Okay, went for the crushing counter, worked out. Okay, there was just a bad read on that bash. I think every time a break and run has actually done a dodge forward so far, he has done the bash. So you could just go for a dodge attack on that. Okay, that was a good zone. All right, he got the dub. Okay. Yeah, I mean, nothing really you did like wrong in that fight. It was a bit sloppy. It was kind of all over the place. There was a lot of interrupts going on and timing, and it was just a bit awkward. But, I mean, you didn't really do anything wrong, I would say, read-wise so far. But we'll go into the second round. We actually have a little bit more information now. Okay, nice. He baited the flip. Okay, he did a backstep play after GB there. Okay. See, again, he did the dodge forward and the bash. So as soon as you see him dodge forward, you can start dodge attacking, because he hasn't tried to do just an empty dodge yet. Okay, he's going for deflex now. Now, if you know he's going for deflex, you can start flipping that. That was a good light parry. There we go. There you go. That was good. There you go. And that's just like I said, he just dodged on movement, which is exactly what you should do, because this guy has not been feigning anything and giving you a reason. He's given you literally no reason to not do that yet. So until your opponent like starts making you not just react on movement, you know, just do it. You know, he hasn't been feigning and punishing you for moving yet. So, or even attempting to, actually. Okay, he's not going to fall for that twice. Could have gone for the crushing counter on that. You haven't been utilizing them very much, and he hasn't been baiting them from what I can tell. He's going for light deflex. So right there, you can see that he's going for light deflex, and since you're playing BP, here, right here, watch. See, he dodges into this. So that gives you information already. You can just start lighting. Start lighting, giving him the deflect, and then just flipping the deflect right after. And get him to stop going for deflex so that you can actually get into stuff. Because you have to give him a reason not to go for deflex, right? And it looks like he's hit confirming his deflex, meaning he's waiting to see if he gets the deflect or not before he actually inputs the dodge attack. Or the heavy input, if you will. So you're never going to just like heavy feint and catch this guy on a dodge attack. You might here and there, but it's pretty rare and not very consistent. So what's the best way to get this guy to sit still so that you can actually throw attacks and get into stuff without getting punished is to just give it to him. If you're on BP in this matchup, of course, just give it to him and flip it. Once you do that a couple times, he's going to stop going for it. He's not going to want to do that. He's not going to want to risk that anymore. Okay, he almost got the deflect on that as well. He's been dodging all your bashes, so you need to start doing empty dodge forwards. From neutral, that is. He's been dodging a lot of them. That was unfortunate timing there. Okay, he ran himself out of stamina. Okay, he ate that. Nice. Okay, he pressured well, but the opponent just didn't bite. Okay, that was good. And he got him on timing. I mean, honestly, you didn't make too many mistakes. You didn't make too many mistakes. The only thing I could say is that your opponent was defending in a very similar way a lot of the time, and you didn't really capitalize on how he was defending. Like, he never really baited out your crushing counters very much. He didn't really, like, he didn't catch on to your pattern and start punishing you for your pattern. So, like, what you need to do is start punishing him for not catching on. You know what I mean? So, like, you could have been baiting out those deflects with the lights and getting him on those and flipping it. You could have been going for crushing counters the entire time, ultimately making your offense way safer at the same time. So that's the only thing. But other than that, I mean, you played pretty well. Solid game. See what we got in the next one. All right. Like I said, this is sent in by the same guy. I already gave you guys what he sent me, what he said. So this is the same guy playing Medjay this time, and he's going against Enirochi. Yeah, that's just a reaction time thing. Good read on that bash, though, that time. Staying in staff stance, which is not very good in duels. Good read again. So now, since you've dodged 2 of these bashes, you need to assume that your opponent is no longer going to bash you. You dodged 2 of them in a row. So me, right now, if I would have done that, I would assume that he's not going to, and he's either going to guard break, or he's going to dodge forward and bait out a dodge attack, or he's just going to go into his indodgeable. So if you see him dodge forward next time, just light attack him. That's what I would do. As soon as I see him dodge forward, just light attack. Boom. So you could have lighted there. Maybe he would have parried it in that situation. But that's what I would have done. But it's good for you to not be moving. You're making a lot better reads. You dodged on the first 2 bashes and you didn't react to the last 2, so now he doesn't know what to do. Ooh, he missed the parry. Oh, no. Oh, and he got timinged. Wow, that's unfortunate. You made so many good reads there. You made so many good reads and you still lost that round. That is For Honor in a nutshell right there. Yeah, you made every single right read on that bash. That's really like one of the only tools that Orochi has. So you could see like he was really confused. He was like, man, what do I do? Like how the Orochi was. He's like, man, how do I open this? He's guessed everything right. All right, you don't want to be doing that. Man, every right read on this stuff. Okay, bad read on the unblockable. Okay. Okay, finally he hits you with one. Ooh, very bad time to go into your other stance. All right, yeah. Okay, so now you can see already that your opponent can react to quick attacks. Ooh. So what it looks like to me is that your opponent can react to quick attacks and you struggle against quick attacks. So with that being said, maybe staying in your staff stance would be a better option so you can get into your hyper armor and just do backstep lights to get into your hyper armor. By the way, I fought this guy before. This VT Potato guy. Fought him a couple times. He started off with a quick attack right off the rip a couple times. What I would do if I was you is start trying to pressure him with the bashes and you're unblockable in this stance. That's what I would do because your quick attacks that you're throwing from neutral are getting countered so far. Yeah, you're not utilizing your bash at all. You're playing a bit too defensive and you're letting this. So like, you know, playing defensively has an upside, right? Like it's good to play defensive in some situations, especially if you're capable. But right here, I mean, you know, and like I said, I don't want to rip anybody for their reactions, but I do want to say, you know, that your reactions aren't great, or at least, I don't know if it's consistent, but at least this game, we're just going to go off and say, like, you're missing a lot of this stuff. And what you're doing here is you're playing a character that has a very offensive mode with a very quick bash, a quick zone, fast 400 millisecond follow-up lights, a really good high damage unblockable, and you're not utilizing it. You're sitting here, you're feigning your attacks, and you're letting the Orochi, the very fast opponent that you can't react to his stuff, you're letting him attack you instead of being offensive. So you're just sitting here letting him hit you, and the only time that you're actually deciding to try to attack is whenever he's in the middle of his stuff right here. So you're just feigning again. There you go. Finally, you actually like keep that up. You know, keep that stuff up. Keep up this pressure. And he dodge attacked you once in the last round, so you need to be baiting those out too. You got to be careful about that, you know. If you want to feint in your chain, you know, just to play it safe, just in case they click something, I understand that. But just feinting from neutral, this guy, he's just not biting on anything. That is a free parry, nice. Yeah, he's been doing that backstep light quite a bit too. So, and again, that also stresses the point that I just made of feigning inside your chain makes sense here because he's been doing side dodge attacks. He's been doing the backstep light. He's been doing this stuff to you a lot and messing up your GBs and stuff, and even dodging your actual in-chain attacks. So the best thing you can do here is just be, you know, hitting him with a bash, maybe doing a follow-up heavy, but then feigning quickly, you know, so that you can punish him for counter-attacking in the way that he is. Ooh. And he's done that. He's done that follow-up light every time as well. But I can't really fault you if you can't react. But I will say it was kind of... I had a feeling he was going to do that follow-up light. So even if I couldn't react, I probably would have gone for that. But yeah, like, you know, you just didn't really keep your pressure up here whenever you probably should have. You have such good pressure. Like, even there, you should have chained. Off of this hit, why didn't you chain off this hit right here? You know? This, boom, go straight into unblockable. And you could have feinted it, like I said, and then you could have parried this. Because if you look, he's just counterattacking you a lot. And that was a good feint there. Bash him immediately. Yeah, like right there, he ended his chain. As soon as he lighted you and you saw that he didn't follow up with anything, boom, I would have bashed him right there. As soon as I saw that he wasn't pushing anything else, bash him immediately. And maybe you read that and that's why you did the GB. Maybe you thought that, oh, he's going to know that I'm going to bash him, so I'm going to GB to catch him in a dodge. But he's not been dodging your bashes yet. So you kind of got to get your opponent to actually start dodging stuff. You have to give him a reason to start dodging stuff before you start baiting that stuff out. There's that backstep light again. Yeah, he's just clicking buttons like crazy. Bash him here. Heavy feint. Yep, there's the backstep light again. You got really lucky and bashed him out of it. Heavy feint. Yeah, see? He's just waiting and counterattacking a lot. And these are all light parries, you know? These are all light parries. So you definitely... And bam, once again. Almost all of his damage and all of his chain pressure that he has gained throughout this entire time has simply been because he is counterattacking. That follow-up light tagged you. Yeah, that's the only thing is that pattern. You need to catch on to that a bit quicker. I will say I can't say I really noticed it in these other rounds. I didn't really notice him counterattacking near as much, but at least in that last round, you know, that's one thing that I can say that you could have done better after him doing it right there and right here. And then maybe I'll let this one, you know, he even did it from neutral right there. Right then, you should have automatically it should have clicked. Bam. Okay, this is what he's doing. He's counterattacking. And then you should have been able to debate that one out there. But everything else, I mean, maybe we need to watch these back because I didn't really see a whole lot of stuff here other than you just making bad reads. Yeah, that was a really bad time to do that transition. He's just kind of hitting you with timing and bad reads, and you made a lot of good reads this first round, but it just didn't matter because you got timinged. And that's one thing I will say is it was a little bit like that's a parry you should never miss. This parry right here, there's the counterattack again. So you effectively lost this first round because of look at this counterattack, you know? Like, you parried him here, but you effectively lost this round right here because of this counterattack. He would have not gotten into this unblockable had he not gotten that counterattack. And then you would have not lost this round if he had not got that counterattack. So I'll give you the benefit of the doubt in the first round. You definitely, like, it's okay to lose to that in the first round, but since you lost to that in that round, you definitely need to be, like, looking out for that for the rest of the game. And this round, he didn't actually counterattack you too much, but this last one, he did. And so that's just a pattern that he created throughout the entire game that you never caught on to, and he just kept punishing you for it over and over again. And then he ended up just getting you with it at the very end as well. All right, well, let's see what we got in the next game. GG, man. All right. Let's see. All right, same guy, once again. He's playing Hito, and he's got a new opponent. Warlord. This is a hard fight for Hito. I'm not going to lie. I fought some Warlords with Hito that it's just so difficult because it's always Warlord's turn. That is unfortunate timing right there. Okay, he did a follow-up light. That time he did a follow-up heavy. Missed the parry. Okay. Okay. Went to his full guard. Follow-up light. Yeah, there's the follow-up light. Same side as last time. Headbutted you out of your chain. Or out of your bash. Okay, good GB there. So right there, like, I mean, I want to say good GB because it worked, but just because it works doesn't mean it was smart. This, I don't believe, was a very smart idea because Warlord always has frame advantage after his headbutt. So if this Warlord would have clicked it at the correct time, you would have just eaten it. That GB would have bounced off. The only reason this worked is because he did not utilize Warlord's strength as well as he could have. So that was... I mean, it's cool that it worked, but that was actually a really bad thing to do, GB him right there, because Warlord, he has frame advantage after everything, basically, effectively meaning it's just always his turn. If he lands a headbutt, it's his turn. If he lands a heavy, it's his turn. It's always his turn. And he's got hyper armor. He hits like a truck. You know, that's why Warlord is so good, is because it's always his turn. So you definitely shouldn't have GB'd there, but it's cool that it worked regardless. Okay, and that's twice now that you've gotten into your bash and he's pushed a button for it. Right? That time you got the hit because he went for a dodge forward heavy, but if you go back into it here, I fully expect him to headbutt you. He didn't. Okay, so 2 times out of 3 now he's interrupted you out of your bash. Nice guard break. There it is. There's another interrupt. Okay, so right now he's just not respecting. He's not respecting your offense at all. So you just need to start letting stuff fly. Let the level 1 kick fly like crazy is what I would do. Until he actually gets a little bit of respect for your offense. Because he just doesn't care right now. He's just doing dodge forward heavies and lights and headbutts and just does not care. So if you want to get him to start respecting your offense, then you just throw those level 1 kicks. If he pushes something, he's just going to get hit. He has frame advantage. Yep. Tagging with the lights. That was nice. Level 1 kick. See, there's the headbutt again. You would have done level 1 kick. You would have hit him. He's been doing that. You've been catching him with these all guards, though. Again, once again, if you would have done the level 1 kick, he literally is just not respecting your offense at all. That's twice now. Look at your health. Look at your health. So he hits you with a couple lights on timing and stuff, right? That's fine. But check this out. Boom. That much damage. And boom, you get back into it. He does it again. Look at how much damage he has now done. He's done, like, what is that? 36 damage. He's done 36 damage just because of that already, just in 1 round. And it's only 36 damage, but that's a good amount of damage just to be eating off of somebody that's creating a very easy to read pattern. And that can be a round deciding amount. There you go. That was a good read. That was a good read. He was scared. He was scared, so he did the dodge attack. Okay, so now it looks like he might be starting to catch on. So this is whenever it gets kind of hard, and this is why I say that it's kind of a hard matchup for Hitakiri, because now that he's caught on, okay, he's throwing level 1 kicks, so I can't be interrupting as much as I was before. That's when it gets hard, because now you're having to basically read whether he's going to interrupt or not. And so, like, if you feint, you could get interrupted, but if you don't feint, you know, then he could dodge it and punish you. So you're kind of on the back foot, and it's just always Warlord's turn. This is what I'm talking about. This is why Warlord, he's just so oppressive. Even if you're in your offense, you're still kind of having to make reads on what he's going to do offensively to defend towards your mix-up, especially if you have a slow mix-up like Hitakiri. I fully expect him to just headbutt you to death here. He has no remorse and does not care. Yeah, he does not care about headbutting you to death. And you should know that from the first round. He headbutted you 2 or 3 times in a row in the first round as well. And right then, I automatically knew, like, okay, this guy has no shame in using the headbutts. He doesn't care if he finishes you with headbutts. He's perfectly fine with it. And that was the safest option for him to do right there. So it was pretty obvious to me that he was going to do it just based off that first round. Okay, not the best trade, honestly. Yeah, and you could just let these fly. Like there, if you're worried about getting punished and GB'd out of your kick, because you're on the back foot and he can interrupt you, just let the raw heavies fly. He hasn't parried any of them. He's just going for blocks because they're variable timed. A lot of opponents aren't going to go for variable time heavy parry because it's scary to do, man. It's very scary to do. Like he could just charge it just a little bit and you're just going to eat crap. So a lot of opponents will just block it all day. They will just block it all day. So you could have just, instead of charging this, you could have just let that fly without charging it and it would have hit him. So if you don't want to get punished and they're just constantly keep pushing buttons, I mean, you have hyper armor on it, it comes out quick, it's in chain, it's variable time, so they don't want to parry. You can just keep letting those things fly until they finally gain respect if you're really worried about getting punished. Right here, see? If you hadn't done that slight charge there, he wouldn't have been able to land that. That was unfortunate. That really was unfortunate. That looked like it probably should have connected, honestly. Unfortunate. He's got frame advantage on that GB. And he headbutts you for the win. Yeah. So, I mean, he hasn't parried a single one of your heavies yet, I don't believe. So that's one thing I would start doing. Just start letting those... that you have an infinite chain, variable time, hyper armored heavy. You can just sit there and just... literally just lay him out, dude. Like, just literally keep throwing and throwing and throwing. And if he wants to keep clicking buttons, he's going to keep getting punished. And as soon as he starts going for crushing counters and parries, then you start delaying it a little bit. And now he's going to be scared. You know, if you start hitting him with it and he starts catching on and adapting and start crushing countering and starts parrying, then you can just start delaying him a bit. And now he's going to be scared and he's going to be the one on the back foot because he's having to read whether you're going to variable time it or not. If he thinks you're going to variable time it, he can interrupt you. But if he doesn't think you're going to variable time it, then he has to parry. And it just kind of makes it an even trade. You know, it's at least fair. And it's only a heavy parry even if he does get it. Wait, what? Was that a charged kick that caught his dodge? What the heck? That was so weird. Oh my gosh, you're punishing him for it. Yeah, there we go. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to see. Look at how much damage this man just took because he could not help but slam his buttons. Finally, he parries one. Don't let that demoralize you. That is one parry. Do it again. Do it again. He's not going to parry it again. He's not. He's literally not going to parry it again. What he is hoping is that he parried one and now you're not going to do it anymore because you're scared. That's what he's hoping for, right? So do it again. He's not going to parry it. He's hoping that parry is going to dissuade you from clicking any more buttons and getting in your chain. So you could just heavy there again and get back into your stuff. I highly doubt. See, like he's just not going to parry it. And again, if you wouldn't have charged it at all, you would have hit him out of that. He has no respect for your in-chain pressure. And the light for timing for the win. Yeah. That's all I can say about that. He was doing it throughout the entire game, and you never caught on that. Well, you started to that last round, but then you expected him to adapt, but he didn't adapt. So you started variable timing it a little bit and doing more charged bashes because you expected him to adapt and stop clicking stuff, but he never did. He just kept clicking stuff in your chain the entire time. Literally never stopped clicking things. So yeah, like you need to make sure they adapt. Just because they read something correct one time, just because they adapt for one instance, doesn't mean they fully adapted. That just means they're hoping that that's going to dissuade you from doing it in the future. Like he parried that heavy, and you probably thought, oh, he's going to start parrying these now. Now how do I open? No, he just parried one, and he's hoping that you're not going to do it again because he's not going to go for it. He's just hoping that dissuades you from doing it in the future so you can't get into your chain. And same with the kicks. So that's the only thing I can say there. Other than that, I mean, it's Warlord and it's versus Edakiri. It's just a tough fight. You played well outside of that, regardless. GG, man. Let's see what we got in the next fight. It'll be the last one. All right. We have another one sent in by David. He said, hey, I've been loving the battle reviews you've been doing recently and wanted to share a fight with you. For background, this was the third game against this guy with me playing Kensei, but the first two fights, he played a lower rep Shaolin. First fight, I lost 2-3. Second, I won 3-0. And then the third fight, he switched to his main and demolished me. Excuse the in-game name. All right, guys, you heard that. Excuse the in-game name. GG's Darth. All right. Let's see. Kensei versus Law. So he fought this guy before in 2 games. He won the second one, lost the first one, and now in the third rematch, or in the second rematch, the opponent whips out his main, which is Lawbringer. Got a little respect up in here. Okay, so right there, you could have done frame advantage. Just, you guys hear me say it every video, but I gotta say, boom. He GBs you. You could just throw a right heavy right now. Oh, actually, never mind. What am I talking about? Never mind. What am I talking about? You GB the first time. Okay, that was timing. Okay, lights are struggling. He's struggling with lights right now. So right there in that situation, first off, already we know that he struggles with the lights just a little bit. First off, he's playing Lawbringer, but he didn't block or parry that just from neutral, and then he also didn't block or parry this. So that gives you information already that he probably is going to struggle with the lights just a little bit. Maybe not all the time, but at least a little bit. He's not going to be getting all of them. And also, since your stamina is so low here, I never do this on Kensei. Sometimes I do if I really got, huevos of steel. But, this just guarantees a guard break, which is really unfortunate, and he just throws you and you're out of stam. So I wouldn't do that, especially early round if you have such low health, because, it sucks. That's just a Kensei thing, though. That was a bad read there. He did the wrong punish. Okay. So right there, if the opponent doesn't do the tap... Oops. All right, right here. So if you are right here, and normally, the Lawbringer can go into the top unblockable and he can hit you with it and then do the little tap afterwards, right? If you don't see the Lawbringer do the little tap afterwards, 95% of the time they're going to go into this bash instead, right? So at a really high level, you can just see that they don't, you can literally just see the bash and then dodge it on reaction. But for the majority of players, you can just see that they don't tap and just dodge. And you're not going to get punished for it until you get to a pretty high skill level when people start GBing there instead of doing the bash and catching your dodge, and then you actually have to start reacting to the bash. But as it stands, even me, you'll catch me doing it a lot of time. An unblockable from a Lawbringer will land on me, and then if they don't tap, I just dodge instinctively because 95% of the time that's what they're going to do. Because that's really the only thing he can do. You know what I mean? He can either do the tap or he can do the bash. Those are the only two things he can do. If he doesn't do the tap immediately, then what else can he do? He can do the bash. That's it. Or if he delays it long enough, he can do a GB, but that's a pretty high level thing that you don't see very often. Okay, you're trying to get that wall splat. I see what you're doing. So right here, so far, like, what's worked? You know, your lights have worked, right? So I don't see the reason for going into a heavy here. And you see he's throwing a lot of lights too and getting into his chain because of it. So I would be lighting him. He's not going for parries either. Yeah, no. Oh, that was just unfortunate. I think he tried to wall splat you there. Yeah, so like you're getting punished for throwing heavies so far. So first things first, your lights, they are working seemingly so far. Second off, you're throwing heavies and you're getting punished for going into it because he's just timing you a lot. So I would just refrain from pushing heavies. You know, I would start utilizing my lights, my zone and stuff, and GBing him a lot. That was good. You had frame advantage, so I understand it in that situation. Okay, he lighted you again. And I think he's been mostly lighting you on this side. Of course, as soon as I say that, he does a top light. But he's been lighting you on your left side a lot from neutral. So like he's utilizing his lights, and look at how much damage and chain pressure he's getting based off of it, right? Because you're struggling with the lights as well. And so he's utilizing them and you're not. So he's just going to get into his chain way more often than you. He's just going to get into his pressure and have way higher damage potential because he's getting into his chain. So you really need to be utilizing your lights more here. I have no idea how that caught him. There you go. Every light you've thrown so far has landed. Yeah, that was just a bad read there. Yeah, every single light you've thrown so far has landed. Not a single one has been blocked. And so I don't understand why you're not throwing lights. I know a lot of people are scared to throw lights because they're like, oh, they're going to get parried or, oh, I'm going to get punished. But no, they're a very valuable tool. You have to be throwing lights. You have to. Even at the very highest level, people throw a lot of lights. You have to throw them. I hear a little buzzing in the background. You guys hear that? It's fine. Ooh, don't want to be doing that. Don't want to be doing neutral dodge attacks ever. There he goes with the light again on your left side. Dodge attack, guard break that, wall splat. I think you could have got that wall splat, if I'm being honest. But I understand why you didn't, because it was kind of close. Bash runs you out of stamina. One of the things here that I've noticed is, like, you can kind of just sit here and stare at Lawbringer, you know? You can stare at him. He can't really do anything. A lot of the time that you're getting hit here is because you're pushing things. You're getting timing. So you could play a little bit more defensively. He almost timed you with a light again. Light him. See, he's timing you because he's lighting, and you're just not lighting. Like, the thing is, you know, from a majority of the player's perspective, like, you can't react to unblockables, you can't react to in-chain bash. It's a 50-50. You got to guess, right? You got to guess whether he's going to do a chain heavy or a bash, or you got to guess whether he's going to feint that unblockable or let it fly. So from that perspective, whoever's getting into their chain more often is most likely going to win, unless you're just making every single correct read. But mathematically, that just doesn't make any sense, right? Like, realistically, we can just, hey, put a stamp on it. You're probably going to get about half of them correct, right? So from a theoretical perspective, whoever gets into their chain more is going to win, you know, theoretically. In a hypothetical world, you know, where math checks out every time, you know, whoever gets in their chain more is going to win. And right now he is getting into his chain way more than you are, because you will. It seems like the only thing you're willing to get into your chain with is your pommel strike mix up, or a heavy, or a GB, you know, or a dodge attack. But you're not using the one tool that your opponent has been using against you this entire game, and he's getting into his chain so much more often just because of that. Like, here you go again with the pommel strike right there. That literally could have just been a left light, and it was way quicker. You know, it was way faster and way safer. Every single quick attack you've thrown that has been 500 milliseconds has landed. Every single one. And same with him. I mean, the majority of his are landing as well, but he's actually utilizing them. So he's getting into his chain, and you're just not getting into it. You have very rare occasions where you can get into your chain, and you're trying to maximize those to the highest potential that you can. Oh, that was unfortunate. Okay, so I would start doing the soft feint lights. And the reason I would start doing the soft feint lights, yes, they're parryable and stuff. But this guy, like I said, you can tell he's struggling against your lights in general. And it also negates this as an option for him. He cannot do this if you just do the soft feint light. If you just go into the unblockable, do a soft feint light, it's hyper armored. He can't do the dodge bash. It's just going to hit him out of it. And the chance of him parrying it is effectively zero. I mean, like, this guy isn't even blocking neutral lights anyways, let alone soft feint lights. So I would just be doing that just to get guaranteed damage. You know what I mean? Just to get that guaranteed damage, because now he gets the dodge bash, he gets into his chain, and like I said, whoever gets in the chain more is probably going to win, and now you're getting 50-50. You guessed right, so well done there. Again, he gets into his chain with a light, and look at how much damage he's doing. He's getting all this chain pressure and all this damage because he lighted you. That's how valuable light attacks are. You have to be throwing lights. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know if you've gotten into your chain with anything other than this pommel strike. This is the only thing I've seen you do. This entire game, all you're doing is pommel strike. You could be doing a top heavy into a soft faint light, you know, you could be doing all kinds of other things, but the only option you're choosing from neutral is a pommel strike. Finally, you try lighting, but it was just bad timing. Oh, you got so lucky. There you go, nice parry. Yeah, so you can react to lights and he can't. Like, there's no reason for you to be losing this whenever the opponent is 99% of the time getting into his chain because of lights. And realistically, and I know it's boring, you could probably just stare at this guy and win just because you can react and he can't. Because he's just getting into his chain. That's the only mistake I'm seeing that you're making. Other than that, it's just reads and stuff. You know, it's just reads. And I mean, you're making good reads. But it doesn't matter whenever you're getting 50-50 20 times and he's only getting 50-50 5 times. You know, like he has more of a chance to win. You got to cut him off. You got to be timing him. You got to be hitting him with the lights. Keep the pace going. You know, that's the second time now you did that. I mean, why? I don't understand the reasoning for dodge attacking a neutral heavy. There's no reason to. Especially whenever the last time you did it, you got parried with a light parry punish again. I mean, look how much health that is. That's like a quarter of your HP just from that. Again, you go into your pommel strike, you get timinged. You got very lucky he didn't punish you for it. There's the light from him. And this time you did a heavy. Ooh, nice job refraining from dodge attacking there. Bad read on the unblockable, and that's the game. Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I can say, man. Honestly, like you made like a lot better reads than he did for the majority of the game. You played a lot better, you know, and it just it didn't matter because you were getting 50-50 way more than he was getting 50-50. So like you really just needed to utilize those light attacks and those quick attacks to get into your chain, the dodge forward light and whatnot. But you just never did. So that's really the only mistake I see you made, you know. Everything else looked fine. It's just you were having to guess way more than he was. But anyways, I think that's going to finish it up, you know. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.